Hey, what's up, Batons? And today I come to you with a heavy heart because I'm reviewing the Intrepid 4x5 camera, and I really wanted to like this camera. Just a little bit of background, the Intrepid was announced a few years ago as a Kickstarter, and the intent behind the camera was to be a low-cost way for people to get into 4x5 photography and just really enjoy themselves with something that's not going to break the bank, a way to get into the hobby. And it is successful on a price point, but there are quite a few problems with the camera that kind of prevent me from recommending it. Although I've already said that I really can't recommend the camera, let me give you some of the pros about it because, hey, some of your values may be a little bit different than mine, but there are a few good things about it. Number one, really lightweight. This thing weighs about 2 pounds, definitely quite a bit lighter than my trusty Shenhao over here, probably about less than half the weight. The viewfinder on it, the ground glass, is really bright. It doesn't have a Fresnel, but it's so bright that you almost don't even need it. Of course, you're going to get a lot of vignetting around the sides with the lack of the even spread of light that a Fresnel will provide. But other than that, it's really bright. I had no trouble seeing through it at all. And other than that, I'm really struggling to find something good with this. Well, let's start from the beginning. All right, it's made out of wood. Great, grand, wonderful. Very lightweight wood. Looks like pressed layers together. Problem is, it's unfinished. And it shows, like here, where the hole has been bored out for the lens. I mean, it's very rough. You almost feel like you could get a splinter out of it. It's that rough. I'm sure you can't, but But the thing that kills me about it is that it's so rough feeling that I wouldn't trust it to be outside in anything other than ideal conditions. Not rain or anything, because you don't want to take any kind of wooden camera out in the rain necessarily. But it just feels flimsy overall. Here, like the movements, you can kind of hear everything just kind of grinds. Nothing is really smooth about it. As opposed to here, maybe you can hear, maybe not. This is my Shenhao. Bring it over here. And it's just a world of difference. Yes, a world of difference in price too, though. This thing is clocking in at a little over $200. This thing new is kind of cost you about $1,000. But you could also get a used 4x5 camera, a metal body for $400. That's going to be so much more, at least seemingly, reliable.
So I thought one of the best ways to show you the differences between this camera and my other camera would be to just put it together. So you can see me unfolding the camera, slipping there. That's probably my fault. There are these arms on the side that you have to flip down and then adjust on the side. You can see me fiddling with one of them right now, trying to get it locked in place. And then here's the front element, and I've got to screw it down in the middle. So you got to find the hole there, screwing it down. And don't worry about the ricketiness of the tripod. It's actually on a light stand that doesn't really lock down, so that's not the camera's fault at all. Alright, so now I'm adjusting the front element up to what I hope is 0. It's kind of hard to tell. Alright, I think that is just about 0. And it looks like we might be locked in place. Now we're going to try the same thing, just opening the Shenhao, just so I can show you what the difference is. Alright, so we're unlocking it, flipping it up. It gets to 0 by itself. pulling forward and pulling the front element up, locking it down, pulling it a bit more forward, and done. Now we're going to show you just a little bit about like putting the actual film holder into the camera. I left the sound on this just so you could hear the slap and just how grindy everything is about the camera. And it was really hard with the rubber bands to kind of just fit everything where it's supposed to be, at least on the first try. So I'm going to do it again a few times, and I do get better at it over time, to be fair. There we go. Now for the Shenhao. A lot easier. And the nice thing about it being easy like that is you're not shaking around the camera. You have much less chance of knocking your frame awry.
So, I mean, all of these things might seem like they're just kind of, you know, being picky, especially on a camera that's only $260 or whatever it is in American dollars. But to me, it seems like if you're gonna invest in this kind of camera, I would invest, you know, $100, $200, $300 more and get something that I think was gonna last me more than, you know, a season or two. This just doesn't seem, you know, and time will tell. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe this is, you know, very, very sturdy design, but it's just doesn't seem that way, you know, just right off the bat. I mean, it really just seems like it seems like a do-it-yourself project, which is exactly what it is. But for me, I think, you know, if I'm going to spend $260 on a camera like this, I'd rather spend $200 more and get something used that's built like a tank that I know is going to last. That being said, you know, what really kills me about this is I really, really wanted to like this thing. It's a labor of love for the people who did this, I'm assuming. And maybe they can take, you know, some of the critiques that I'm sure I can't be the only one to have these critiques, but maybe they can take some of them and make some adjustments to their next model. Because, you know, I think it's a great idea to bring something that's so cool. You know, I love large format photography and try and bring it to the masses in a cheap way. But I think it would have been more, more impressive to have something come in at the $260 or so price point and be of a quality, you know, with something like this, or at least close, but it's nowhere near. Like it's not even close to the amount of quality that something like this is. You know, granted, this is a Chinese knockoff, but it's still head and shoulders in quality above something like this. So yeah, I mean, like, if I were looking into large format photography myself, I would probably skip this. You know, as much as it pains me again to do so, but I would go for something used. You know, scour eBay. There's always tons and tons of deals. Something you can get for $400 or $500, and skip this altogether. So anyway, thanks for watching, guys. Again, I really wish I could have recommended it, but I can't. You know, gotta be honest with you. And if you have any questions about the camera or comparisons to the other one, or if you think I'm just full of it, whatever, go ahead and leave a comment. But that's it for today. Thanks a lot.